Okay, so today we are going to look at query strings. Okay, so one of the ways that we can preserve values from one page. So you've already seen how we can take values using cookies, right? So we can use cookies. Now we are going to see how we can use query strings. So when you use query strings, you're actually using it to pass the value from one page to another, and it's very useful if, let's say, you want to use product number, for example, product ID. So if you want to keep track of what the user has selected, so if you want to show just a specific product, so you can use query string, choose the ID, and then display just that product. Okay, rather than uh, you know keep on creating new pages. Okay, so we have this option. So for the query string, how it actually works is it's going to append certain values to the URL itself. Okay, so the good thing about using query string is it doesn't require server memory because it's going to be part of the URL. Very little processing overhead is required, and it is supported by virtually all browsers. Okay, so pretty much all browsers can work with this. But it also has certain disadvantages. One of it is when we can see the value. When you use query strings, you can see the value in the browser URL itself. So it means that there is risk, security risk. So we will never share password or credit card information using query string. Okay, it has to be encrypted, so we can't do that. We don't use query string unless you encrypt, then you can show, because then it's just going to be scrambled data. But we will not just grab and display. Another thing is that it can be bookmarked or sent to another person, so again, potential security risk. Another problem is when you are writing your query string, actually you can append more than one value. So you can have a few values. So we're going to see how to do that next. So when we do that, now if you have a very long URL, because now you have the query string keep on appending, so what will happen is some browsers, they have restriction. So you may find that your page doesn't work well. Okay, so these are just some of the limitations. So let's try. So open a new web form. So you can just call this user, anything that you want. I'm calling it user. This is going to be one of my one page, and then I'm going to create another page. I'll call it user details. So in this, I'm going to let's just put a header to, and then I'm going to put a table, three rows and two columns. Not going to specify the width. So the first column First row, I want it to say name. Second row, first column, I want it to say email. And then you're going to put text boxes. So rename your text box txt name. And txt email. And for my third row, I am going to merge. I'll say call span 2. I'll remove this. And I'm going to put a button here. Okay, this one is going to be a button. And for the text property, I'm going to say go to user details. I'll push it to the next line so you can see better. So we just have a very simple interface. It's going to say email, name and email, and then go to user details. For our second page, which is the user details page, this one I'm just going to display using labels. So again, I'll put a header to details. I think I'll change this a little bit. I will say, please enter user details. Okay, for my first one, please enter user details. For my second one, it's just going to say user details. And the same thing, I want to put table. So my first row, first column, it's just going to say name. And this time I will use label. So I'll go for ASP label. Second row, I'm going to make it say email and also another label here. No button for this because it's just going to display. I'm not going to put any button. So now I'll go into the button here. So I will double click. So it will open my C#. So here you can see we're not going to do anything for page load, but we're going to write something for our button submit. So since I want to use the query string, what I will use is I will use this response redirect, and I will specify the web form that I want it to go to. So over here, I will say user details .aspx, and now I want to give the query string. Okay, so I want to specify what I want to pass to this web page. What am I going to send here? So we always start the query string with a question mark, and then you can give any name that you want. So you can call it any name that you want. So let's say I just call it username. This is just a random name. Obviously, we will choose something that makes sense, something that will be, you will understand when you are writing, okay, this is username, meaning I want to capture username. So we will give the equal sign because we want it must come with a peg. There will be what you would call it is a value with a name. Okay, so we have this one is the name. We want to identify the value. We just put an equal sign here. Where are we going to get the value from? We are going to get the value from text box. Remember, we have a text box. So you can just type txt, right? Because it's the easiest way. So you will just double click to find text box. So we are saying that this is going to capture the value, whatever value that is in your text box, and it's going to append it to this username. Okay. So if let's say like right now we have two, right? This is just example. We've got name and email. Sorry, not here. Here. We've got name and email. We've got two, right? So let's say I want to give both. So if I want to add, so we have question mark to start the query string. If I want to add another one, then I will use what is known as, we call it ampersand. Okay, ampersand is written like this. This is ampersand. Okay, so ampersand, again, you can call it anything you want. So maybe I call it user email. Then I specify where is it going to come from? Where is this value going to come from? Okay, so this is just specifying just the basic redirect. Now we have to go to our user details page. You have to go to your C#. And for this, I want it to load during page load. That means as soon as the page load, I want it to appear. So first thing is I've got a label, LBL name. I want the text property, and I want to grab the text property from my query string. So to do that, I will use request dot query string, and then you can specify. So I used user capital U capital N. So I'll use back the same thing here. Okay, this must follow what you had given earlier, the query string that you gave earlier, the actual value. I mean, not the value, the word that you use, the name that you had given, you follow that. Same thing for my email. Again, I will go. I used user email, so I will copy that because I don't want to make any typo error. So I'll follow that. Can you understand what's happening here? Okay. So now you can go ahead and debug. You probably can see the output already. Mine is slow. Key in something and click on the button to see what happens. Okay. Oh, because I put in the themes last week, so you can see the themes are still there. Never mind. Okay. So I will just type something here. Let's say, and then I type. Let's say I type an email, and then when I click on go to user details, you can see one is you will see the details appearing in the URL. Okay, you will notice that the username is there, user email is also there, and then you can see that it's also appearing here. Okay, so this one is the basic concept of query string. So now we are going to put this into our master page. So I'm going to ask you to copy the code. Okay, before that, all of you can get this to work? Yes? Week 12. Oh, it's not available. This one is for your master page and this is for your CSS. So what you need to do is you're just going to create this. Let me see if we have. Just going to close. So you will add new item and you will choose to add a master page. web forms master page, and you're going to rename this, rename it as site master, capital S, capital M. Then you click on add. And then you open your week 12 folder and you look for this site master. So I've given the code to you. So let's see. Actually, the top part is the same. I'll just start copying from the head. Okay, so when you look at it, it's just a table, very basic table. I've also given the image. If you look under week, the same thing, there's this image. So you can go and download it somewhere. Then I will add it here. Add existing item. And I'll add the banner. So as soon as I add the banner, you'll see that it's already added to my master page because of the link. You look at the source. I think I'll just update that a little bit. So I have a very basic structure here. Okay, you can see very basic structure of your master page. Now the other thing that I want you to do is I want you to create the style sheet. So the style sheet is also given to you here. So all you have to do is create master.css, copy and paste this exactly as you see here. So go ahead and add new item. Okay, style sheet. Name it as master. Master.css. One. Copy this and paste. Okay, this one is for the CSS. So you'll notice that the CSS is also linked here. So if it's not, what you can do is, let's say this is not linked, you just delete that, look for your CSS file. This is my CSS file, so I'll just grab, drag and drop. So that is linked. So I've already gone through master pages with you, right? So you already know how master pages work. It's just like coming up with a sort of like a template for your design. Okay, so now we are going to put in what is known as, this is for you to put in like a menu. Okay, so I want to use like a menu. So to do that, you are going to go back to your Solution Explorer and then add new item. Let me look for it first. Okay, this one, Web Forms User Control. The extension is going to be ASCX. Okay, I wanted to rename this, not Web User Control, but rename it to Left Menu Control. And click on Add. So what you'll see is a very basic, just one line, nothing else is there. It's just showing the language, the code behind, the inherits, that's it. So we're going to put in something. First, we are going to open our toolbox. And you're going to look for data list. You're going to add a data list. I'm going to rename my data list. I'll call it DL categories. Now this is actually an option where we can specify the width. So I want to specify the width to be 200 pixels. Now if you switch to design view for your left menu control, you can actually see that we have option to click and edit templates. Inside my item template, I am going to add a hyperlink. And then I'm going to edit data bindings. For the text property, I'm going to say eval short name. What is this short name? This short name is coming from my database. Remember the categories that we have? The categories, we have short name, we have We have ID? I think so. We have got category ID, we have got short name, we've got long name. So I want to grab the short name. I want to display the short name. Okay, this is for the text property. For the navigate URL, I'm going to actually create a page category ASPX. We have not created this yet. If we have, we are going to edit it. But I don't have it yet. And remember just now, query string. So I'm going to use that question mark. And then you can name it anything you want. So I'll call it ID cat, ID category, as long as you understand. So exactly as what you saw just now. So this one, I'm going to put it in double quote. And then I'll use eval category ID. This category ID is from my database. Okay, so category ID, the spelling is with capital I and a D. Then I say OK, and I end template editing. And let's just go and check our source. Let's see if it's right. So I just want to confirm that it's right. So I can change this ID. I'll just call it HL menu. So my ID, run at server, navigate URL. Let's check. Category ID. Okay. And then my text property. Now, apart from that, if you look at this master page that we have here, this is actually orange. This color that we have over here, it's orange. And if you look at the text, if it is white, it's going to be much more clearer to see. So I'm going to change the font. I'll just select 4 colors and I'll change it to white. And if you want, you can also change the font with the Arial. Okay, this is just the how it's going to look like. We haven't put in the code yet, so we have to put in the code in our C# for this left menu control. So you can go and have a look at your database just to confirm the spelling. You can see category ID, short name, okay, same spelling. using the same spelling. So I'm going to grab the values from my database table. So obviously this is not going to do anything. It's just if you look at the design, you can't see anything at the moment because I chose white. My font is white. What we are going to do is we are going to go to the left menu control, the C sharp. Okay, so left menu control ASCX.CS. This is the code that we want to get into. Before the page load itself, we're going to do an SQL connection. Before that, we also have to add using system.data, using system.data SQL client, using system.configuration. Okay, these three you have to add. So before the page load, SQL connection just want to check the name Halloween Con SDR. Okay. Just pin this here so I can refer to it. Configuration manager, connection strings, Halloween Con SDR. Okay, just to be sure, I'll just open my web config and confirm. Yes, it is Halloween Con SDR. That's the name that we have given. So if you choose a different name, please follow the name that you have selected. So this is just making the connection, right? But we already have the details in our connection string. We already have the details in our web config. So this is just making that connection. And in our page load, we do a quick check if it's not goes back. We open the connection and we use SQL command. So what will we use here? Which SQL command will we use here? Which will be the best? Select, insert into, update, select. So I'll just choose select all. My table name, categories. So I'll just categories. forgot to put the keyword new. Okay, put the keyword new. Then I will use SQL data adapter. All this we've already done before, so it's nothing new. So this will generate the values in our menu. So it will generate the short names according to our what's in our database. And then after that, we close. Okay, so now you don't need this, you can close it. What you're going to do is I am going to open my site master from just now. And I'm going to look for my left menu just now. Left menu control. And I will drag and drop. Okay, so when you drag and drop, you will see it will have this register, left menu control, and then it has its own tag. You can change the tag if you want. Left menu control, it's up to you. And then there's the tag name. No, I think I'll leave it. Hang on. I want to use this later. Let it be UC1. Tag prefix, and then I've got my tag name, left menu control. Okay, and then you will see that I've got this UC1, okay, because it is the prefix. So I'll just leave it UC1. This is something that I don't want to position here. I am going to place it mm, somewhere inside the table that I have created. There is something called nav. You see the NAV. I'll place it there. Now, when you look at this, you can't really see much happening here. Okay? Nothing much happening here because obviously we can't view it yet because this is just the master page. But this is where our categories will appear. Okay? This is what we plan to do. So at this point, uh, what you have is an underline, which says it doesn't know this, not a known element. Okay, this don't have to worry. It's because we haven't used it, so that's why it's a bit like confused, doesn't know what to do. So later we can add on more things. For now, we'll just leave it. So at the moment, you see that there's nothing much here except just copyright information. We are going to carry on, so you can just leave this open, no need to close, but probably my master CSS I can close because I don't think I want to edit anymore. So just to confirm that I don't have a page called category, I don't have a web form called category. I'm going to go and create it. So I'll right click and I will add a new item, but I'm going to add web form with master page. So choose web form with master page, and you're going to name this as category because just now we said in our query it's going to go to category.aspx. So category, I believe this is the spelling that I used just now. If it's wrong, I'll go and edit later. Category.aspx. So it'll ask me to select my master page. So I'll choose site master because that's the one that I want to use. And I'll click on OK. So now if you look at the design view, you can see that we have some, these are all things that are already there. We only have the main placeholder. This one, the main placeholder. This is where we can put in some content. This is the only place that we can edit, the only place that we can modify. So for my main placeholder, I'm going to add another data list, just like what we did earlier. So we're going to add a data list. And I'm going to call it BL cat. And what I can do here is I can choose to repeat columns. I'll say that I want to repeat for 3 columns, and then I can also choose to repeat direction and make it horizontal. You can change the width. So this is just a value that I have used. So if you feel that it's too wide, you can edit later. This is just, it looked good on my laptop, so that's why I use this width. So now if you look at this, you can go to the design and you can see there is a data list there. So again, what you can do is you can click edit templates and then you'll end up going into this option here. Now while inside the edit template here, you can add a table. Okay, insert a table. I'm going to add one column and I don't know, maybe 5 rows. Later, if I want to add, I can add. Let's just go with 5 for now. So I've got this. Oh, I didn't want it to be fixed. Let's try that again. I don't want to specify the width. One column and 5 rows. No cell padding. No cell spacing. Okay, so I've got my table here. So the very first column, I'm going to put an image, ASP image. Just add an image. Okay, we're going to edit in a while. And then the second one, I'm going to put a label. It's going to be a label. Easier to see this way, right? Okay. So first one is image. Let's change this to IND product. Second one is LBL name. Third one is going to be price. We're going to display the price. And the last one is going to be a hyperlink. So put in a hyperlink. We are not going to put a name there because we're going to edit everything. Okay, so now back to our image. So in order to show our image, we need to use image URL, right? This is what we need to use. But our image is going to come from our database, and what is it called? Oh, products, image file. Yes, that's the name. If you want, you can change the height and the width. For the product name, obviously we want to change the text property. So for the text property, we use eval name. The name is from here, name, product name. For the price, it's going to come from unit price. And for our hyperlink, it's going to be navigate URL. So now for our navigate URL, what we want to do is we want to display different products based on categories. So when I select, let's say masks, all the masks will appear. And then when I click on a specific mask, I want to see details about that mask, let's say, or maybe I want to add it to a shopping cart or something. So now here again, I'm going to use a query string. Okay, so for my navigate URL, I will choose let me see whether I have that. What do I have? I have products. Okay, I really have a page called products. So I will change this to product details. I'm using query, so I'll use a question mark. And you can call it anything you want. I'll just use ID. Okay, so I'm going to redirect according to the ID that is selected by the user. And then remember, I need to get the value from somewhere. So the value will be based on the ID itself. But for my hyperlink, I don't have a name. There's nothing appearing. So I need to provide a name. I need to let the user know what is it. So I will use this short description. You look at it. Yes, short description is there. So that will appear. So that will be the hyperlink. So now when you look at it, it's not going to show anything because, oh, it says tag not formed. Let me see what is the mistake. server tag is not well formed. So it's difficult for me to see, so I'll just check line by line. First one it has got problem. Could be because I am using double quote. Let me try the single quote. Okay, I'm not sure what was my error. I had to redo, but I'll show you what I have here. I think maybe I had the double quote, that's why. So check and maybe remove the double quote to single quote and see if that makes a difference. So you should be able to, you should see something like this. Okay, if it's error, then call me. Let me come and see. Do you have this? All of you have this? You got this already? Okay. So now we have to go to the C# code because obviously we have to make it work. So go to the category C#. If you want, so before page load, SQL connection. Same thing as what we did earlier. So it's called Halloween Con SDR. Meet here. So if you are using 2022, automatically adds this. If not, please make sure you have system configuration, system data, SQL client. For 2019, you probably have to include this. manually. So after we have determined our SQL connection, then on our page load, we do a quick check if it is not postback. Open the connection. So I'm going to get the category ID using request.query string. So remember, this one is from our left menu controls. Have a look at your left menu control. Okay. So we use this for left menu control. So we will use another select statement. This time we will use the products table. But in our products table, we must have the where clause. We're actually going to match it with the category ID that's going to come from here. Okay, we're going to match it with this. We can't just put an equal and just make it work that way. But we have to put it in such a way okay, and this way. So it may look a bit complex to you, but basically what we're trying to do is we're trying to capture this value. Okay, we're trying to capture this value. Now, if you try to just write it as it is, it will show error because it doesn't understand. How can category ID equal to some value like this? So that's why we put a double quote. So this will be in a double quote. Okay, this one is the end. This is the end of our SQL statement. This is the end. This one is end. This whole thing is for this category ID. But we cannot just put double quote, and if we just put double quote, it's going to throw error because it's going to think that this is the end. Okay, it's going to think this is the end for our select statement if you just put a double quote. So it's like a escape sequence kind of thing. So we're trying to make it realize, no, this is not the end. Okay, that's why we are putting it in this way. So now it understands this is not the end. This is just something additional. Okay, so that's why we write it this way. So this one is to get the value from our query string. We store it here and then we compare it with a where statement. So we only want to display items which match with the query, whatever that was the query. So now we will put in the SQL data editor. So just like what we did earlier, we're going to generate the content. So this is if here, this is from our, from here, So we're checking whether there is value. So if it's not null, that means it has a value. Then we want to use the fill. So this will generate the data list that we have. So remember the data list. This is our data list, dlcat. Okay, so now we try to see how this looks like. You can debug the category, not the master page, not the left menu control, but the category. So let's see if it works. So I seem to have some links here. So when I click, okay, my images are broken. I'll go and check on that in a while. When I change, you can see it changes. You can also see it's changing over here. And you can see that the ID cat becomes masks, and these are all masks. If I change to props, becomes props. Let me go ahead and modify my, something went wrong with my image. So I'll just refer to a previous. Okay, so this one. We have to use this because ours is in a specific folder. We can't just say image file. Change that. Okay, we have to specify the location of our image. Okay, the other thing that we can also do is modify our unit price, the text value. So what I'll do is I will use string dot format. Because I wanted to appear like a currency. This is another way of writing. So now when I click, you can see the images, and you can notice that the images are, the size is reduced because I specifically made it fixed size. So the images are small, and you can also see that I can change by clicking. So as I change this, the values here are changing. Okay, so this is how we can make use of query string. Now you can carry on, repeat the same thing for a page called product details, same concept. So you capture the ID, product ID, and then you display just that product. Okay, and if you want, you can also from that product page add to a shopping cart.